everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's in the Pod podcast. As always, I am joined here with my brother. Don't sniff when I'm in the middle of doing the intro. You ruined it. You blew it.
I feel like this microphone was way too sensitive for my bodily functions.
Yeah, I heard it like straight up like that whole...
It's like not even anywhere near my head.
It was like we were back in the room growing up and you were snoring again and I'm trying to cover my... Anyways, as always, I'm joined here with my brother from the same mother, Michael. Go ahead and introduce yourself without the snorts.
Yep, that's me.
That would be him. And you did it again.
Force of habit.
You gotta stop. You can't be doing that noise. But anyways, today we are gonna be...
You just did it?
Yeah, but I record this, I do the editing, I'll fix it in post. Yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about the Mortal Kombat movies. But wait! This one's a screamer! I'll be back! That was a bad reference. Anyways, we're also going to be...
pretty fucking awful.
I don't know where I was going with that one. I was trying to make a reference to Scream, but then it turned into Scary Movie. I've been up all morning. I'm kind of tired right now. What I was trying to say is we got a surprise, and this one's a big one. Because today we're not only going to be talking about the Mortal Kombat movies, we're also going to be talking about some of the video games. We're going to talk about some of our favorite characters, favorite fatalities, favorite babalities, all that good stuff. But without the babalities and all that other stuff. We're just going to talk about...
The babalities were friggin' great.
They were, but they were all the same. They just...
Not in the newer games.
Yeah, MK9. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, that was actually one of the ones I was going to bring up.
Actually, yeah. If you're going to bring up the Kenshi one, that's probably the best one. When Kenshi has the blade flying around, it hits him in the back of the head.
No, I like the Ermac one because that was my favorite character.
Oh, and he like floats up.
He just starts like floating around.
Yeah, and he's like laughing maniacally.
You gave me a baby.
Damn, I actually forgot about Ermac's fatalities for my top fatalities list.
Yeah, well, no do-overs. Whatever you wrote down, that's what you got to go with.
Well, good thing I wrote Ermac in there.
But you didn't, because you just said.
You don't know this. I'm trying to throw you off. But anyways, we're going to jump into it. Let's talk about one of the best movies of all time, Mortal Kombat from 1995. Fun fact before we start talking about it is that Jean-Claude Van Damme, who the followers of this podcast know we adore, was actually supposed to be in this movie as Johnny Cage. Because when Mortal Kombat was originally created as a video game, it was based off of Jean-Claude's early movie, Bloodsport, that we've talked about in the past. And Bloodsport was created into this video game, and they couldn't get the rights for it, so they had to change it to Mortal Kombat. Well, that's why Johnny Cage looks exactly like Jean-Claude Van Damme, because he was based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme. So for the movie, they tried to hire Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he said no. He was like, absolutely not. Or he had like another movie to work on or something like that. But either way, he said no, and we got some Joe Blow.
Wasn't he working on Street Fighter?
That would be hilariously ironic, and I think it's possible because they did come out around the same time.
Yeah, I thought that was the case.
That makes sense. So Street Fighter got him instead.
That movie was cool too, though. Not that we're going to talk about the Street Fighter franchise as well, but that movie was actually kind of sweet.
You told me you don't want to talk about Street Fighter ever again ever since I kicked your ass in Vegas when you were blackout drunk, and you were like, let's go play Street Fighter.
Well, clearly I do not recall such an occurrence.
I recall. And I recall beating you twice in a row. And then...
Was that when we were there with Dad?
Yeah, he went to bed, believe it or not. And
so it was like 6:30 p.m.?
I think it was closer to 5. And that's when I left early because I wanted to go take a nap because I was a bit sleepy. And I woke up and you guys were in the room and you handed me a Fat Tuesday. So I said, hell yeah, let's party. Nice. And you were already like 2 or 3 Fat Tuesdays in. So you were already getting a little schwasty. I drank my one and then you were getting another, like your fourth or something. And you ended up just getting drunker and drunker. So I told you, hey, let's see who can get the most high fives from like random strangers. So your way of getting high fives was in the middle of Mandalay Bay. You started yelling, "Who gonna give me a high five?" And I had to tell you, you can't yell in the middle of the casino. We're gonna get kicked out. And then you were like, "Oh, whoops. Who gonna give me a high five?" And you said it really quiet. Needless to say, you lost that as well. I kicked your ass in the amount of high fives. I don't know if you remember this either.
You cheated and you told me I couldn't do it.
No, you were yelling at people, and that is not what you're supposed to do.
Towards them.
The best part, and
them.
I still don't think you remember this either. You were coming down an elevator in New York, New York, and there was a group of like 4 or 5 people behind you. And I go, "Hey, Michael, give me a high five." And you just stare at me like, "I'm not going to give you a high five. That would give you a point." And then you pass by me, and I said to the group of people behind you, "You see that? My own brother didn't give me a high five." Boom, 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 boom. All those high fives in a row. You turned around in complete disdain. You were so disappointed.
I don't remember any of that, but I'm not disputing it because it actually sounds like something that I would do.
It's exactly what happened. And then you fell asleep, and then I kept walking around for like another hour. But anyways, Mortal Kombat from 1995. It actually came out August 18th, 1995. I turned 2 years old the day this movie came out. It's one of those movies I grew up with because I grew up with Mortal Kombat. I grew up watching this movie, and as a child, I thought this was like the best movie ever made. I didn't think movies could get better. As an adult, I believed that I was a stupid child. This one compared to Annihilation is aged a little bit better, and it's still fun to watch. Especially some of the actors they got in it, like Christopher Lambert playing Raiden. Whoever's the guy who played Shang Tsung, he did a really good job.
Well, I'm sorry, whoever's the guy, is that literally what you just said?
Yeah, Keith Cook, whatever his name is.
I will hang up the phone right now.
What's his name?
Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Say that 5 times fast.
Nope, couldn't even say it one time medium speed.
Wait, he was in Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton one?
Yeah, he was the one who was like the mentor for the Big Ape.
So he was the one.
Who died.
He was the one.
A couple years ago.
He pointed down and he goes, "Your planet will be mine."
No, but he should have. That would have been cool.
That would have been hilarious.
But no, he was like the one that was on Mark Wahlberg's side. He was kind of like not really the servant, but like the protector of the female ape during the movie.
Yep. You know a lot about Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Kind of scares me.
Like a couple dozen times. It's a good flick.
Wait, he was also in Balls of Fury as the mysterious Asian man?
Yep.
What? This dude's been in a bunch of shit.
He sure has. And
wow.
He played Shang Tsung in MK11.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Downloadable character that you have to pay for after paying for the game.
And he also,
that,
he says it.
That you have to buy the fucking game after buying the game.
Yeah, the whole DLC stuff kind of blows. But he says it in the trailer. After he does his fatality, he goes, "Your soul will be mine."
Yep.
He says it. He did it.
I'm sure he does. I'm still not going to buy it.
Yeah, neither am I. I already got 100% of the trophies in the game, so I'm probably going to end up selling it.
Well, once the DLC comes out, you probably won't have 100% because they'll add like 150 points.
I only care about the platinum, and I have it. Anyways, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, this movie is actually pretty cool. I liked it.
It doesn't age very well, though, because
Well, that's just because the practical effects that they used.
It's mostly just because of Goro.
Yeah, Goro. Goro looks like a stretched out, shriveled up scrotum.
He doesn't look good.
It's bad. Like, you can tell that it's bad.
Like, when he gets punched in the balls, and his eyes are spinning around in his head. He's like, whoa!
Like an animatronic thing from Chuck E. Cheese when we were kids. Except it's always malfunctioning and causing set delays.
And you can see it, like the lip twitches to the side right before he talks. Like you can see it pulling. Oh, look, it looks bad.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But it's still a cool movie.
What does kind of hold up, though, I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but it doesn't look as bad as you would think, is the fight scene between Johnny Cage and Scorpion. That scene is actually still pretty badass. When Scorpion...
Well, you know why that is.
Because it's, like, all practical?
Well, yeah, but that was also... as far as I remember from what I read, it was either, like, something that they did after the fact, or if it was, like, reshoots, but they spent so much time and money on that, and that's why it looks so amazing, but it wasn't filmed in the normal, like, time frame of the movie, because I want to say it was, like, the guy who played Johnny Cage, I can't remember his name, but he, I think I saw, like, an interview of him or something like that, and, yeah, he was saying, like, yeah, it was such a pain in the ass, because I had to go back and, like, I think he, like, hurt himself doing those shoots, too. But he's like, yeah, it was just, like, me and the other guy, like, in this forest.
Oh, that part was a reshoot?
Well, yeah, the whole, like, I think the whole, like, fight sequence was a reshoot.
Yeah, like, in that weird abandoned factory type of place or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, that, but also,
and in the forest.
I want to say it was both parts of that fight.
It makes sense, because when they get to that scene, it's like a weird jump cut, and all of a sudden he's in a forest. Like, they're in their little area being introduced from the boat. Like, oh, here's Sub-Zero. He freezes people. And this is Scorpion. He's got a weird spear. Then, like, 2 scenes later, Johnny Cage is just roaming around in a forest.
Yeah, they're just kind of, like, out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
It's just kind of random.
Somehow, like, teleport to the, I guess, the hell or wherever it was.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be, like, hell. But yeah, it didn't make any sense. But it looked really cool. Like, oh, yeah. That's probably the best scene of the movie. Then the reptile scene's kind of cool, but that effect doesn't really hold up very well.
No, those sequences were always kind of felt a little bit awkward.
Yeah, like the early uses of CGI when they're trying to make like the weird reptile thing, and he's like holding on to it, trying to keep it away from his face. Was it Robin Shao who plays Liu Kang? He's like trying to hold it off, but it's obviously not in his hands, and he's obviously not actually reacting to anything because the tongue like goes through his head a couple times, and you can see it just like whipping back and forth and just like clipping. It doesn't look good. It don't hold up.
Nope.
As for story, it's pretty straightforward. It's just they go to an island and there's a big tournament going on and they gotta fight people. It's like just typical Mortal Kombat story. The acting, though, superb.
I'm not sure if you're joking or not, but for a like
superb
low budget-ish mediocre video game movie, I didn't think it was that bad.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, it's bad, but it's not like Super Mario Brothers bad.
It's bad, but it's not like Christopher Lambert in Highlander 2 bad. It's like Christopher Lambert in Highlander 1 bad, which is still pretty passable.
Is that why they got rid of Christopher Lambert for the second movie?
I think that was a mistake. Although James Remar is fucking awesome, but
he was pretty cool.
Not in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
What? Like, he wasn't bad in that movie.
He just had, like, the Raiden voice, but...
Well, that's the funny part if you look at the two comparisons. Christopher Lambert got into character.
Who kind of sounds like
played
this.
the character very well. And then James Remar showed up and was like, what am I supposed to act like? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do James Remar. It's like, wait a second, guy. Like,
I'm just going to say the
you're
lines.
supposed to become the character here. He's like, nah, I ain't going to do that.
Yeah, Christopher Lambert shows up and he's trying to get all mysterious. He's like, I am Christopher Lambert. I talk whisper most of the time to sound mysterious. And then you got James Remar who's just like, is this the set of Django Unchained yet? Has my career taken off? Have I been on Dexter? What have I done?
I'm gonna go ahead and use my normal voice.
Yeah, let's talk about Annihilation, because where Mortal Kombat, the first movie, has its fun moments, and the Scorpion battle still holds up and all that. Mortal Kombat Annihilation takes all that and chucks it in the dumpster.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I take away from Annihilation is I don't remember a single fight sequence. All I remember is the shitty dialogue.
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die. So I actually remember a lot of this movie because I was telling you right before we started recording that I watched this one more as a kid than I did the first one. And I actually loved this movie as a child because, as I mentioned before, I was a very stupid child. And I remember that Smoke is in this one. Smoke fights Sub-Zero's younger brother.
Yep. At
some point. There's like a bunch of Barakas who show up and they have a fight with Liu Kang or Robin Shao. You have Jax fighting Cyrax, which was
kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but the one that is really fucking bad is the entire battle sequence at the end where with Mutaro fighting Jax. You have was it Noob Saibot or Ermac is in it?
Yeah, fighting. Ermac was in it.
Yeah, but there's somebody else, another masked character who's at the end of the movie, and I think it's supposed to be...
Ermac summoned Noob Saibot because he's able to do that.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then...
So he had like a 2-on-1 fight with somebody.
I think it was Katana.
It might have been Katana.
And then you have that amazing Liu Kang versus Shao Kahn fight where they both turn into their animalities and fight each other.
Yeah, amazing is definitely not the word that I would use ever to describe that, because it was probably the biggest failure in cinematic history.
I was about to say, if you are into special effects or animation at all and want to know how to not do a fight scene or an animated scene at all in your movie, or how to just not use computer generated effects at all, watch the ending of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Not only do the designs look awful and clunky and just like, I don't know, just like really fat bottoms and tiny heads and small arms, like nothing fits. They aren't lit properly, so the characters are too dark, and then they try to add in like thunder and lightning in the background to create more of an ambient effect, but it just highlights the inconsistencies in the faces of the characters. And not only all these put together, they're on a staircase falling down the staircase, but they're just kind of like floating down it because they didn't add any like actual real gravity to the characters, so they just kind of float along. And then you have the sound effects of the two as they're high-pitched screeching because Liu Kang turns into a dragon and then or like a dragon demon thing, and then Shao Kahn turns into a 3-headed Hydra for whatever fucking reason, and the sound the Hydra makes as it screeches at Liu Kang, it's literally like the word, like you've seen Dumb and Dumber. Do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Watch that scene.
Terrible.
It's really, really bad. That said, watching this movie, which I didn't rewatch it for this podcast, unfortunately, because I can't really stomach it. But I have rewatched it recently. It is fun on a nostalgic level to just kind of like go back and
Well, I think the
Watch
one
it.
thing that I still like about this movie are some of the costumes. Like I think all um, the like Ermax, Noob Saibot, the
Even Shao
Sub-Zero,
Kahn.
like those types of costumes. And then actually, even though they looked kind of dopey, the Cyrax, the Smoke, and those ones, they looked cool. Like I still thought that it had that like Mortal Kombat feel to it because all the characters looked like they were supposed to look, but then everything else just kind of came apart, and the movie was bad.
Yeah. And it's a shame because, like, the first movie really wasn't bad.
No, I mean for the budget that they probably had for it, it's just it's a video game movie. Like nobody's getting primetime writers or anything like that to put this movie together, but they gave Paul, what is it, W.S. Anderson?
Yep.
Isn't he the one who did it? They gave him a shot. I thought he did a good job, and I mean, he's had a pretty decent career.
I'm gonna play some audio of this.
Yeah, terrible.
Just so the people at home know what we're talking about.
See it, unfortunately, in my face that.
And looking at it right now, it looks worse than I remember.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, if you haven't seen it recently, like really recently, if you watch it again, it's not good.
They don't even turn back into themselves. They just fall on the ground, and then the next shot, they're human again. Like they didn't even try to do a like American Werewolf in London sort of transformation or anything. It's just laziness. There's a reason why this movie has a 3.7 on IMDb, and it's not because it's underrated.
That's bad.
That was pretty bad. But as much as I'd love to reminisce about Mortal Kombat Annihilation, let's start going through the games a little bit. Which one of the games would you say, from your memory as like childhood, got you into it, and which ones you like the most?
Well, the first one got me into it because I remember when we were at a mall in Arizona when we were visiting family out there, and Brad and I were playing around the arcade, and we had never played Mortal Kombat before, so we went ahead and played it. He played against me. I'm pretty sure he beat me because I do remember there was like an older kid who was probably a teenager at the time who came up and then played against Brad, and he beat the shit out of him. Like, he knew all the moves, he knew all the stuff. Like, I want to say he picked, because Brad was picking Sub-Zero, but then the kid came in and he picked Sub-Zero, so then Brad picked probably Scorpion, and he was getting, like, frozen left and right, and, like, all we knew was how to, like, just mash on the buttons and punch and jump, and this kid was doing, like, you couldn't do combos in that one back then, but he was chaining stuff together, and, yeah, no remorse about beating this, like, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid in Mortal Kombat. It was amazing. I was hooked ever since.
That's the thing. Especially in the arcades. Because I remember growing up, the ones I played the most were Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and specifically Mortal Kombat 4. Because you used to have those bowling leagues you would go to all the time. And I would get brought along to them. And then, I think it was 7 Lanes or something was the name of the bowling alley. Does that sound familiar? 7 Lanes?
Well, I think
Seven Bridges.
You're crossing the two. 7 Bridges is where we played hockey.
Yeah.
And that was, you played, they had Mortal Kombat all the time there. They always had, I think it was Ultimate MK3.
Yeah.
And then at some point, they got an MK4 machine. But yeah, you definitely played the bejesus out of that when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest one that I think I kind of got into too, was the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, because every arcade had it. And that was more of like, they had combos, they had, then we were kind of old enough to know how to like look up and find how to do all the moves and stuff like that. So.
Well, that's how into Mortal Kombat 4 I got whenever we go to the arcade. Because when I first started playing it, I remember like, oh, this is really cool. And then like you're saying, I went home and I started looking up how to do like the finishers and stuff. And I would write them down on a piece of paper and then bring them with.
And then bring them to the arcade.
And then I would look at them before I started a match and then like keep them off to the side. And then I remember people would come up and challenge me and play me and stuff. And I would always be like, oh yeah, if you want to. And I would kick the shit out of people who would play because I did nothing but play Mortal Kombat 4 in the arcade as a kid. And then I ended up getting it on the N64, which I don't know if I ever told you this story. But as a kid, it was maybe like 3rd or 4th grade. Because nobody in our family ever bought Mortal Kombat 4. But we did own a copy of GoldenEye, the James Bond game.
Yep.
And there was a kid at my school. He's like, oh yeah, I have a copy of Mortal Kombat 4. Do you want it? I was like, sure. And he's like, let's trade for it. I was like, what do you want? He's like, oh, I'll take the GoldenEye. I was like, damn. But I did it, and I gave him GoldenEye at school, and he gave me a copy of Mortal Kombat 4. And then the rest is history. I think I beat you in Mortal Kombat 4 one day, and you got really mad and threw the N64 in the basement, and I was like, should I go down there and grab it? Because I want to keep playing.
I think I did that when I was playing Super Smash Brothers.
I'm pretty sure it was Mortal Kombat. Maybe it was Mortal Kombat Trilogy now I'm thinking about it. Because I used to play the shit out of that one too.
I don't think we really ever had that on console though.
What, MK Trilogy? We had it on N64.
I don't think it was out for 64. It might have been out for Super Nintendo.
No, it was on N64, for a fact. Look it up. Because I used to...
N64 was Mortal Kombat 4.
No, and MK Trilogy. Trust me, I played the shit out of it, because we would do the buttons before the game started, so you can unlock all the characters.
Oh, yeah.
We'd do that a lot. And that's also
where... I was thinking Ultimate. I think Ultimate was Super Nintendo.
Yeah, because they had...
MK3, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then they added, like, an extra 10 characters or whatever for MK Trilogy. Yep. Which I've looked up recently, and people hate MK Trilogy. And I don't understand why, because I remember that game being awesome as a kid.
Yeah, I always liked it.
Yeah, it had, like, the most characters. They all had, like, unique, different movesets, even though some of them were the same. Yeah, that one was always dope. What would you say is your... I guess we could just go into the favorite fatalities now. Let's go. Sure. Let's go one at a time. All right, no, let's not do that. That's kind of stupid.
I don't know what that means. So we say 5 at a time?
No, like we do one at a time. But yeah, just do all 5, and then I'll do my 5.
Well, the first one I think is one of my definite favorites ever. Is the Cabal fatality from MK3. When he does that scream thing, he's just like, rah, rah, and then he like runs around and then the guy blows up.
Because in those games, awesome. They would always blow up for no reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody would blow up in the same fashion, but yeah, it always stuck with me because of that scream. He'd like take off his mask and he'd just like scream, like, rah! It's like, what the hell happened to your face? And then after that, I've got the original Scorpion fatality, where he just kind of blows fire on you. Again, just always thought it was cool. It's kind of memorable, and I've liked that they've, done it a few times since then. Kind of made it a little better, a little, up to terms. But for the most part, they were doing it up. I think MK9 had one where he just kind of ripped off the mask and boom, now you're on fire.
I want to say they did it in Mortal Kombat 10 as well.
Maybe it was X that I was remembering. It was either X or 9. I can't remember which one.
No, I think it's in both. I think they brought it back in both.
It might be. And then the Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat 11, where he has to take multiple takes to uppercut the person's head off. I don't know why. It gets me.
Yeah,
It gets me.
that's a really
It's
good
my
one.
it's my kind of humor. And then the Mortal Kombat 2, the Baraka, where he just kind of like impales you with his spikes, and I think that's on my list because that's the one that I remember the button combinations even
Back
to like
forward,
today.
down forward, low kick.
Way toward down toward low punch.
No,
And
it's
it was like the first one that I
it's low
ever
kick.
memorized. No, it's low punch. Way toward down toward low punch. MK2, look it up. It better be low punch.
Pretty sure it's low kick.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's low punch. Because it was the...
Yeah, it is low punch. Never mind.
Yeah, don't dispute me. I'm telling you why I like it. It's because I remember it.
I'm just mad because I put that one on my list too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good.
Yeah, that's my number. That's my number 4.
The Ermac MK9, where he just like lifts you up, he tears your limbs off, and then he smashes your face in the ground, and then you're just basically like a little Pop-Tart person. It's awesome.
That's a good one. I was really hoping you weren't going to say the one when he makes you really small and then steps on you, because that one is stupid.
It's stupid, but it's still kind of cool. He was my favorite character, though, in 9 and 10.
Yeah, I played the shit out of him. He was my main in 9, actually. Scorpion was my main in 10 and 11, though.
Yeah, 10 I definitely played Scorpion the most. 11 I've actually been playing Johnny Cage a lot.
Just because of fatalities?
No, mostly because of the fatality, but... No, I don't know. It's just his reach is pretty good with the shadow kick. He can basically go across the screen with one move.
Yeah. Yeah, Scorpion can't do too much of the variation I use. And that's the thing with that one. You got to do all those variations and changing up and movesets and whatnot.
Yeah, and
cool,
I think I'm just like, I don't know if I'm just getting too old for that stuff, but like, I don't really care. Like, just
I don't
let
either.
me play the game. I don't want to look up specs and stuff for Mortal Kombat.
But, so my list, I'll just tell you the number 4 is Baraka MK2.
Yep.
Back forward, down forward, low punch, like I told you.
That's not what you told me, but okay.
Pretty sure it's on the recording of me telling you that, and you thought it was a low kick.
I mean, you confirmed it after I told you were an idiot.
To
that's
correct
fine.
you. I also have selective memory. My number 5, though, that I put on here was the Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat 9. When he morphs or has his clone come up on the other side of the person, they each grab a leg and they start pulling.
Oh, yeah.
And the person gets split down the middle and it gets to their head. And the person's like shaking their head, no, no. And then it rips them in half. I really like that one.
That's a good one. And that actually reminds me of one that I really like that I forgot.
Is it Kung Lao?
No, it's the one, I forget what game it is. It might even be 9, where Quan Chi, like, rips your leg off and then just starts beating you with it.
Oh, that's number 4.
Was that in 4?
That's where it first came up, and they brought it back in, I think, MK10, or a couple of the other ones.
Yeah.
But it started at number 4.
Funny. He just starts pummeling you with your own leg.
That is a good one. My number 3 is mostly due to nostalgia, because I played the shit out of this game. It is Scorpion from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. So you go back, back, down, back, circle. And he just impales the person through the head. And he pulls once. And then he pulls twice. And it still doesn't work. And then he pulls the third time and the head comes off. I just remember doing that one a lot.
I think I do remember that one, but I'm having a memory lapse, I guess, in your button combination. I don't know how you would input that into a controller. How did you do it again?
Back, back, down, back, circle.
Yeah, it just, for some reason, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. None of, like, especially that last part, I don't get it. I don't know what the hell that is.
Well, we did own it for PlayStation 2, so...
Well, I tend to err on the side of good gaming systems, so...
But we
don't
didn't
have circles
own
and
it
triangles and X's for buttons.
One?
Who has an X for a button? That's the stupidest thing ever.
You see, what I like about this conversation right now is it proves the point that people who own Xbox systems are more juvenile.
Awesome. Better? Handsome?
Because,
Smell better?
they feel the need to let everybody know, oh, I have an Xbox. And,
I wasn't saying that I had an Xbox. I was just saying
that makes me better. Because I got my Xbox and it just PlayStation. What's that? We all know the PC's the best. And let's just all agree.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, move on. That's all you need to know. So my number 2 that I have on here.
Poop.
I wouldn't say poop. I wouldn't say this is like these aren't in any particular order. It's just how they popped into my mind. But I'd say Mortal Kombat 11, the Baraka, when he rips the face off, and then rips the face under the face off, and then impales the brain and then eats it. That was the first fatality I saw from the new game, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. And then that ended up being like one of the best ones, and the rest were kind of a little disappointing for the most part.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. A lot of the MK11 fatalities are forgettable for sure.
There's just so much you can do, but like at some point it's like what's easier to animate. I don't know, but some of them still stood out. Like that Johnny Cage one was really good. This Baraka one was really good. I was telling you the Devora one when she turns him into a bug was really cool. But my number one,
I think that like if they just. I don't know who. I know that they have like hundreds of people probably that put these all together, but like ride the humor train. Like the humorous ones are the best ones because those are the ones that you remember. Like not I'm just gonna explode your head in a different way.
Or like Liu Kang's where he just punches the person like the 1-inch punch and they blow up, or he like knocks their limbs off and then hits them with a nunchuck. It's like
yeah.
It's just not unique. It's not special.
It's lazy. I'd say it's lazy.
My number 1, though, do you want to take a guess at what it is? Because you make fun of me for it all the time.
I what?
You make fun of me for this one a lot.
I make fun of you for a fatality in Mortal Kombat. I mean, I make fun of you for a lot of things, but it's not sticking out.
This is the Mortal Kombat 3... where smoke blows up the world.
Yeah, that's stupid. You're dumb. Your list is garbage. You play PlayStation.
No, the reason why you make fun of me for it, though, is because I always hold block to do the up, forward, down. And you tell me...
That's the easiest, most efficient way to do it.
You gotta time it out where you just do up, and then forward, down when you hit the ground.
You know, if you're a grown-up, you don't have to do it, but you can. When you're a child.
With a PlayStation.
With a PlayStation.
Because that's important to point out. Let's move on to favorite characters. What is all that banging in the background?
Well, it's not quite banging, but like Sammy just got home. She just got a snack.
Did she just
this microphone like picks up like Kentucky.
Did she just decide to take, like, all the pots and pans and chuck them on the ground while she's at it?
Oh, she got a paper plate and cheese.
It was like...
Those are the two most, like, quiet things in the world.
It sounded like all this in the background. Sounds like you have a...
Me and my fingers.
You have a full ensemble in the background.
So, favorite characters. Ready, go. Go ahead.
Hugh Sao from Deadly Alliance.
So, real favorite characters.
Sue Howell.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be...
say Bo Right Show, and I'm gonna hate you.
It's gonna be the easy picks, but I mean, every single Mortal Kombat, I always go straight to Mortal Kombat. I always go straight to Scorpion and Sub-Zero in all of them.
See, I don't like Sub-Zero, but I always play Scorpion first, every single one that I play.
I like Sub-Zero,
but I hate Sub-Zero
ever since I was a kid, because I would dress up as Sub-Zero for Halloween all the time. Or Scorpion, one of the two.
I don't think you ever did that once.
Yeah, I did. I did it a bunch of times. We had the costumes for it. And I would go as like a zombie Sub-Zero, like after the fatality, blood on my face and everything. But
seriously, I feel like I was there and that never happened.
It happened a lot.
But okay, go ahead. It's fine.
I would also dress up as the Slipknot characters. I used to do that too.
Yeah, well, that wasn't Halloween. That was just everyday life.
That's true. That's why I didn't have friends growing up.
You had friends.
Yeah, I had you and Brad.
Nah, we really weren't your friends.
Just pretending. You sound like my imaginary friends.
Oh my god.
So
Alright, anyway.
Those two.
Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
Yeah, those are always two. I mean, it's kind of generic picks, but yeah. I can't help but like those two in particular. I really like Kung Lao in like all of them. He's always just a fun character to play in the new ones because he's like really fast paced and his combinations are usually easy to do, and he's always got like the like weird, crazy fast punches that he always does in like MK10 and now in 11 and whatnot. And even in the old one, he was really fun to play like MK2.
He's got good like rapid fire type things. You get a lot of like high hit combos, even though they're not a big percentage. But I like seeing like, oh, you just do like a 30 hit combo because Kung Lao punches faster than anything.
Yeah, if you did I think it was triangle square triangle. You just do that like in MK10. He would do like a 12 hit combo where he just punches him a bunch of times.
You lost me though. I don't understand what that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Combination means.
Y X Y X Y. Does that compute?
I understood that reference.
Well, there you go. Oh yeah, and I really like his Yugalagaliigi.
Oh yeah, the throw.
Yeah, because that's classic. Because that's all I would do in MK2 is just get close and Yugalagaliigi.
Yep.
I
get jokes.
I don't want to just keep picking the ninja characters, but I always really like the ninja characters. But I will go with Smoke, but not MK9 Smoke, because MK9 Smoke was kind of retarded.
Yeah.
But I do really like Ermac and Noob Saibot. Mostly just like the Lin Kuei characters. They're always just the coolest to me. And they had the best movesets usually, and they were the most fun characters to play. Like, even Rain was fun as shit. But mostly Cyber Smoke. If I had to choose a variation of Smoke. Because Ninja Smoke was just kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really liked Smoke. Noob Saibot has always been pretty cool, though.
Noob Saibot's the shit. So how about you?
5?
I think it was like 6.
Oh.
But are you gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna pick Kano and
No, I hate Kano.
Goro and Suhao.
Although one of his fatalities where he like chugs a beer and then smashes it in your face, that one was pretty cool.
That fatality was the worst one in Mortal Kombat 11.
I mean, it was a little bit unique.
All he does is like stab you in the neck and then dance with you.
Yeah. I know. That's why I like it.
Nah, it's dumb. I didn't like that one.
My top characters are Baraka, Ermac, Cabal, Scorpion, and I have to think of a 5th one.
Damn, I didn't realize you were this prepared for this.
I wrote down 4.
Wait, did you say Cabal?
Yeah, Cabal's awesome. He does that, like, fast thingy where he turns you into a tornado and then you can just run up and uppercut. Or do the
like Sindel.
the combo where you do the combo where you juggle them up and then you jump up and do the blasty ball.
Oh, you're talking about MK3.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yep. I can't think of a 5th one.
Just say Suhao.
I like them all. No, I'm not saying Suhao.
I'm
not saying Bo' Rai Cho. Bo' Rai Cho's the dumbest character.
Did you know Suhao was in...
Probably Quan Chi. Quan Chi's pretty cool.
Did you know Suhao was in Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah, he was there briefly.
As the severed head that Aaron Black throws out of his bag.
Yep.
And he's in the background. His name is in the story mode.
Yeah, he was in one of was it like a flashback sequence or something? But I want to say he was fully intact somehow.
Probably.
I've never seen him.
He's probably the best character the game's
Nope.
ever seen.
Nope.
The best. Around.
Nope.
No one's gonna ever top his character. What else can we talk about? I think that's
Alright, that's just about it.
Yeah. Would you like to say your most favorite and least favorite game of the series?
Most favorite is probably X, followed very closely by 9. And least favorite it's gotta be 4. That was terrible.
How dare you?
It's just garbage.
4 is not that bad. I don't know why everybody
And
shits on it.
we're not including that, what is it, Armageddon or whatever, because that basically doesn't exist.
Oh, speaking of games, did you ever play Sub-Zero Mythologies?
Yeah, that game was cool.
Try playing it again, and you
Nope.
will break your controller, refix it, and break it again. That game is
I would prefer
aggravating.
to retain my memory and thinking that was a fun game.
I mean, it's not that it's not kind of fun. I mean, it gets old really quick because it's like a platformer based, and it just
And it's stupid.
and it's confusing, and Fujin's in it, but it doesn't hold up. It's very confusing, and the puzzles are aggravating, to say the
Yep.
least. But my favorite in the series, I'd probably agree, like 9 or 10, just because those were the epitome of what the games should be. Like, none of the 3D environments or whatnot, just 2D based, pure strategy. There's a lot of growth for learning in the games. They're very competitive. They're very fun. I like the tag team element from 9 a little bit, but I like that in 10 they kind of made it more simplistic, and I love the crypts in those games too, because it feels like you're actually doing something, because you're unlocking everything in the world. So both of those probably up there, because 9 is what really got me back into the Mortal Kombat games, because they did lose me with Armageddon and versus DC and Deception and all that. Even though I still played Deception a lot, it's just not the same. But as for least favorite of the ones that I have played, because I never played Armageddon, I've only watched gameplay of it and it was terrible. I might have to just...
It's probably going to have to say 4, because it's bad.
No, probably Deception. Even though I like Deception, it's just out of all of them, it's just... Or probably Deadly Alliance, now that I think about it. Yeah, Deadly Alliance was far worse than Deception, even though I played it a lot as a kid. I just played Deception more. I think Deception was a better game overall, but neither one of them feels like a true Mortal Kombat game. They just kind of did too much with the 3D environments. You could kill people in one hit in the game if you got them towards the edge and knocked them into like a spike trap or something.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That got annoying, especially when the character would just back you up and spam you and then hit you once and you die. But yeah, those are probably my picks. I still love going to the arcade though, and whenever I see Mortal Kombat 1, 2, or 3, or 4, I have to play them no matter where I'm at. I waste a few quarters. Ch-ch-ching, ch-ch-ching.
It's not really a waste. It's a form of entertainment.
I don't believe in entertainment. I'm a fecal Felician.
Isn't our podcast about movies? Which is a form of entertainment?
Yeah, but can you use it in a sentence?
Isn't our podcast about movies? Which is a form of entertainment?
He's good. So anyways...
Bless you.
I didn't sneeze. Thank you for joining us on our episode talking about the Mortal Kombat movies and video games as a little bonus. And as an added bonus, we're going to tell you Brad's score for both movies and each of the games.
Every single one of the games?
Yep. Every single...
Is it lumped into one?
Yes.
Because I feel like the average will probably be like 7 out of 10.
Well, let's see. So it looks like Brad gave the first Mortal Kombat movie a 10 out of 10. It's high, but okay.
Not surprising. It's a decent flick.
It's fun. It's nostalgic, so it's fine. It looks like he gave Mortal Kombat Annihilation a 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
That one's a little... He didn't give any, reasoning behind it this time. He just gave a bunch of scores. It looks like he gave the Street Fighter movie a 10 out of 10 as well.
Well, I don't feel like we were reviewing that, but...
I told him it was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like somebody just phoned it in.
Well, he did text it to me.
Well, that's on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of weird. It looks like he gave the House of the Dead movie a 10 out of 10 as well.
My God, that was the worst movie that's ever been made.
That movie was pretty bad. I don't know why he would give it a 10 out of 10.
I'm sorry, but when, the people died in the movie and they did that stupid,
slow motion
360 slow-mo, I mean, what the fuck? What the hell? Who keeps giving that guy money to make movies?
He's German.
Stop it.
They just were born with money.
That's terrible.
It looks like...
Now I'm upset.
He gave the Blood Rain movie a 10 out of 10 as well.
Oh my God, we're not even talking about
Did he not realize we were doing... I told him the video games. Let me scroll through. Super Mario Brothers. We're not doing that one. What else we got?
Does he have Double Dragon on there?
He does have Double Dragon on there. He gave that
What's
one...
up, chicken butt?
That's probably my most quoted line from that movie, and whenever I look it up on YouTube, I can't find him saying that.
That's because it never happened. It's like what is it, Mandela effect?
No, it did happen, though, because I've rewatched it a couple years ago, and he says it.
He doesn't, though.
He does.
No, he does. I know.
He goes,
Josh.
"What's up, chicken butt?" But it's not on YouTube. I don't know why. But it looks like Brad gave Double Dragon a 10 out of 10. It looks like he also gave Three Ninjas High Noon a 10 out of 10 as well.
It's not even based on a video game.
Honestly, I'm done looking at this because I don't even see any of the Mortal Kombat games on here at all. He just keeps listing adaptations. He has fucking Surf Ninjas on here. He gave that a 10 out of 10.
Oh my God, that movie's terrible.
I don't think he understands what we were doing. I think he just started going with anything based off a video game or involved ninjas. So I guess that's it for our podcast this week. We'll try to give our other brother Brad clearer instructions next time. But thank you for joining us, and have a blessed evening, morning, or day.